Hello, everybody. Jason from the Gig Economy Podcast. Just want to give you a heads up that this episode is half of what it should be. I'm having some trouble. I'm thinking it's probably a medicine interaction, but anyways, I kind of fell apart towards the end there. You probably won't notice until like the last, 1 minute. But sorry this was short. We'll have a full episode next week, and appreciate everyone that reached out to check on me and make sure I was all right. And enjoy the show. Hello. Welcome to the Gig Economy Podcast, episode 238. Talking about Amazon driver runs over a lady, which is kind of a messed up video. And then, of course, we're going to play it, right? Because it's messed up. And then there's a Doordash order for $1,350. And Uber says no cybertrucks on their platform. No cybertrucks. So, or Uber doesn't say it. I don't know if
Tesla said that.
Tesla said that. That's right. I fucked that up. Of course, I fucked that up. Thank you guys so much for joining us. How's it going tonight, Larry?
Yeah, going great. I was talking a little earlier, a week ago at the intro of the show, I was talking about how we got 4 inches of snow and we're having single-digit temperatures, and today it was 75 and sunny and just absolutely freaking beautiful.
Well, I always say, like, people up here in Michigan, oh, it's Michigan, just wait an hour, the weather changed. But that's like, that's everywhere, except Florida.
Right. Yeah, they say it here all the time. If you don't like the weather, just wait 15 minutes. It'll change.
Yeah, for sure.
But we do see all 3 or 4 seasons in a week a lot of times.
Yeah. Go to gigeconomyshow.com for everything gig economy related as far as our show. I want to thank our Patreon members, Samson from Grand Rapids, Bud from North Carolina, Omar from Detroit, Steve from Colorado, Delivery Cats from Michigan, Frank from Philly, Tom from Chicago, Jim from Connecticut, Miguel from GR, Linda from Tampa, and Jerry from Bowling Green, Kentucky. If you want to support us, you get a bunch of perks. Check it out at patreon.com/theGigEconPodcast. We would really appreciate the support. And then we also have a Telegram group that Larry is going to tell you about.
Yeah, so Telegram, that's the way we communicate back and forth. It's kind of like a text program, but besides doing, text, you can also do video or voice chats. So when you're out driving, in between passengers, or you're doing food delivery or Amazon Flex, it's a lot easier to do a voice message back and forth instead of trying to text while you drive, which is kind of dangerous, kind of hard. But you can talk with gig workers all around the country, all around the world. We talk about what new gigs are coming up, what's hot, what's not, gripe about our bad deliveries and our bad passengers, and just kind of shoot the shit and get to know each other.
Absolutely. The link is in the description. If you could also go and follow us on TikTok. I actually was on my first live stream yesterday with Mo Marine. She goes by Mo Side Hustles on TikTok. Go follow her too if you see that. It was fun. It was interesting. I wasn't able to do it on my desktop, and then I didn't have a mount. So then I'm like, well, what the fuck am I going to do with my phone? So I just went in the car. I mean, because I have mounts in my car for my phone, so I put it up there and left the car off, and it was a warm day.
It's a fitting place to do it anyway.
I mean, honestly, it kind of is. So if you can go to TikTok and search the Gig Economy Podcast and follow us, that would be great. Oh, excuse me. Woo, just had a burp that came out weird. Stories from the road. Larry, do you have anything?
I do not, since as I was talking about, I ended up being having my sore throat come back with a vengeance and ended up having to go to the doctor. So did not drive that last weekend. I was up pretty much in our bonus room or in our house from last Tuesday night until I went back to work yesterday.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, except for going to the doctor.
Yeah.
Feeling much better now. Got the antibiotics kicking in and feeling much better.
Very good. Well, I have a lot of stories.
Okay, so gotta pick up my slack.
Yeah, man. I know. Like, normally I don't have shit, and I do. So last week, Wednesday, I decided to go do some gig work in between my bus route and me heading to work at the school. And so I always do Walmart, but then it's been a little slow. So I've been throwing on Uber Eats and doing delivery and comfort. I did 2 rides that day too. So I can say I've driven passengers in 2025.
Hey, well, you got to get that dovetail money, man.
Yeah, well, that's part of the reason why I threw that on. And so I did those. And then while I was in town in my area, I got a package delivery. And what's interesting when it comes up for me, at least, is that it doesn't give you price. It doesn't give you amount or anything. It's like you back in the day when you didn't have pricing.
Shooting blind.
Which is, I don't understand the purpose of that. Do you know anything about that at all?
No, I don't. I'm trying to think what happens. I don't remember if the price comes up when I get a package. I don't think I've done any package deliveries, actually. I've had a couple of offers come up, but I don't think I ever did them.
Well, so it didn't tell me where it was going, but it told me how close it was, and it was only 1.5 miles from me. So I was like, what the fuck? I got nothing cooking. So I took it, and I went to go pick it up, and it was in there's not really a terrible area of Granville, but there are some Section 8 areas, and it was over there. And so a guy comes out, and I was like, hey, and I don't think they're required to tell me what it is. And they didn't actually require me to take a picture of it either.
Really?
It was very strange. So he comes out and I was like, hey, what's in there? And he gets this big shit grin on his face. And he's like, AirPods. And it's like in a plastic bag that's black. I can't see through it. And I was like, okay. And I hand it to him and he walks away. So I feel the bag, and it does feel like AirPods. I've bought a bunch of AirPods, and it's just in a square case, and it feels like that. So I stuck the bag up to my nose just to smell it, just to see if I it was drugs. Couldn't
smell like earwax, or just smell like dope?
No, gross. I might throw up if it did that. So I smell it. Can't smell weed. I mean, usually you don't even have to put it up your nose. If there's weed in there,
it'll seep through.
Yeah, so whatever. It ends up being like 13 miles downtown. I'm like, oh, motherfucker. Well, there was a surge attached to it, and interesting enough, it was a multiplier surge.
Oh,
it was 1.4. That's what it said. I didn't take a screenshot quick enough. Yeah, it wasn't wasn't a flat
that's
dollar
like
amount.
a throwback.
I know. So I drive down there, and again, it's curbside delivery, meaning I don't get out and walk anywhere.
Right.
It says pick up at the curb. So a guy sticks his head out and instantly smell weed. He's probably, because I got the window down, and he's like, I'm right here. I was like, oh, sorry, man, it's curbside. You got to come down. So he comes down, and I hand it to him, and he goes, thanks, officer, and then walks away. So I don't know if he thought it was undercover, because my tint is dark.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
it is.
It is like almost pitch black. It's so illegal. And it's on the front, not on the windshield, but like on the sides all the way around. Too dark. I wish I wouldn't have done it that dark, but because it's hard to see at night sometimes. But so I wonder if he thought it. I mean, I have a big beard, tinted out car. Maybe he thought I was undercover, and so maybe these cops are doing this kind of stuff to try to sniff out drug dealers and stuff. But of course, I waited too long to go pull the video because I pulled the SD card out. I had already taped over it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to.
Well, he wasn't too worried about you being a cop. He took it.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, but why would he say it though? Like, you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Unless it was a legit delivery and he wasn't worried that it was drugs. I mean, maybe it was AirPods. Maybe they were stolen. Who knows? I mean, if you're doing that thing, it just seems shady. And I was like a little nervous delivering it. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah. We've all been on the drug runs before.
Yeah. So everything went fine. And I got paid $13, which I thought was pretty good. I mean, it's mowed that little bit of surge on there. So
nice.
And then today I actually posted a TikTok about it. Walmart, I'm out doing Walmart. All of a sudden I'm heading back after my second order. My screen goes blank and says, accept these terms of service. It's blank. The terms of service is blank. Force close it, shut down my phone, do everything. same thing. And I could decline it, and it was like, okay, well, you're going to get signed out. I was like, okay, I'll just do that. Do that, logs me out, sign back in, same thing. Then I messaged one of my friends locally, and she had no problem with it. Apparently, there was terms of service, but I wasn't the only one. I got on Reddit like a couple after my my job midday, and 400 comments on the Spark Reddit. Yeah. So it wasn't the only one. A lot of people. Yeah. So eventually, I got it to work, but I'm like, why are you doing this in the middle of my run, for one? Like, normally they make you accept it before you'll go online the second time, but I've never had an app in the middle of, like, working throw up, like, everything's done. You have to do this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a little messed up, but looks like I'm good to go. It was long. I'm doing this. Finally, when I went on scroll, I mean, like, maybe 10 seconds of me swiping up.
Gotta love it. Yeah, you're supposed to read all that before.
Oh my gosh!
Before you do anything.
I think if I had the option of, like, if I could email it to me, I think I might read it, like, when I'm on the shitter or something. Or I'm just like really bored out of my mind. I might just.
That's what I do usually with Uber. Usually there's an option you can open it in a browser window, and so I'll do that, and then I'll just read it later. Yeah,
just to see, like, are they actually fucking
how they
us?
Screwing us this time?
Right.
Yeah, so I don't have any really stories from there, but I remember I did mention maybe last week or 2 weeks ago that I pulled up my Uber app and saw that Uber Pet was available, but then when I tried to add it to my account, it wasn't available. Well, it became available the other day finally.
Okay, so
there must have been an update or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm testing another dash cam for Vantru, but it's a single channel one, so not recommended for rideshare.
No. Did you do they just email you randomly now?
Yeah, the second time. Yeah, they emailed me, hey, we got this new camera coming out, would you like to review it? And then after you review it, you can keep it.
So they must like your reviews then. You must be consistent with doing it.
Well, I mean, the last time I did, at first it wouldn't accept it. Amazon wouldn't accept it. I don't know if it was because, like, I had videos of driving, and I had the interior of my car, and they were considering that personal or personally identifiable information, or something like that. So I told the people at Vantru, like, just throw up 2 pictures and like two sentences. That's all we want.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I can do that. That's easy.
It's only an Amazon thing. They're not asking for, like, you to post it anywhere else or anything.
Just Amazon. Nope. Just Amazon.
Wow. Okay. Very cool. Yeah. We need to look into that, and we can at least generate some income when we sell the camera.
Exactly.
Because you're not going to keep that, you know.
I'm not going to keep. Now I'll probably give it to one of the kids. You know,
yeah.
The one of the kids want. They don't need the interior.
Right, for sure. Well, that's cool. I should reach out to them too. And the last thing I want to talk about, I'm super excited about this. Gridwise is an app you can download. It has a subscription model. Gives you a lot of features like. I don't actually have it, so but it where to drive, it tracks your data and your earnings and all this other stuff. So they have a ton of people on it, so they have a wealth of information,
a ton of data,
and we are email. Good God, Jason, we are interviewing Ryan, the CEO. I think next Wednesday. It will not be live, and it will go to Patreon first. So if you want to, I mean, you're going to want to watch this interview because. The amount of data, it was so interesting. I'll have to go through it again.
Yeah, I was going through it tonight.
Okay, so a couple of just key features, which we were kind of like I pulled out that I can remember. One of them was only 26% of people multi-app.
Yeah, and that was the biggest one that threw me. That you know, and I mean, of course, I'm biased coming from a smaller market. I'd be, you know, dying if I was a single app, even trying to, unless it's just a really busy time. But I guess in these bigger cities, and they have a lot more drivers than they do in the smaller cities. Right. You know, I guess I can see it there where it's busy enough. You can focus on one app and get to know it and go for all the bonuses and things like that. But I didn't think it would be that big a percentage, that single app.
And later on, we're going to talk about, and it's a little bit of an old article, but the Dara from Uber supporting Trump to eliminate taxes on tips. Another stat that I read, only 9% of an Uber driver's earnings are from tips.
Yeah, whereas delivery drivers is food delivery, it's like 58% or something.
It's
like
really
that.
high, yeah, except Spark. So it looks like mostly Spark, their earnings are from base pay, and not as many tips. But like Instacart and a lot of the food delivery, it was
Amazon Flex was like 4%.
yeah. Well, Amazon is mostly any kind of tipping is Whole Foods.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah.
The rest of it, there's no tips on it. But yeah, some of those stats really stood out to me, and they had like so much data on these drivers, so many trips, like 1.5 million trips they analyze and stuff like that. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and they have some really cool data too. Like they have like what was the longest rideshare trip that was reported? What was the most expensive one?
Right.
What was the biggest tip? Somebody tipped food delivery was like $330.
Right.
Food delivery trip.
And these kind of stats, this is what you should be looking at when you're doing gig work. This is huge because you can see where, God, why am I focusing on this shit? You know what I mean? And, it's always market specific. Like Gabe is really successful with Instacart, but they reported on Instacart the average hourly rate was $12.50, something like that.
Yeah, in which she makes triple that.
Yeah, but for Walmart Spark, it was $21. So it all depends on, the market and stuff like that. But that'll be coming out on Patreon and then later released to all y'all. So. Gig economy in the news. First up, we're just going to go right at, you know what? Before I do that, I added a video, and I'm going to add it right now because I will forget. And then there we go. So, do I have these in order? Fuck, I forgot to put these in order. God dang it. Let me see. Is it this one? Oh. One.
A woman is.
Yep. Okay. It's funny. They're all labeled something weird, so I can't really tell.
I don't know what it means.
No. So this is about an Amazon driver that unfortunately hit someone in the road and then decided to take off.
Horrible.
Horrible.
I mean, there's no excuse.
All right. Here we go.
A woman is injured in a hit and run by an Amazon delivery van Tuesday night in Butchers Hill. The 29-year-old was run over around 9:30 in the intersection of Pratt and South Chester Streets and was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A harrowing video shows the van pull forward and strike the woman, then continues forward, dragging her along under the wheels. The driver stops and gets out, walks around the woman who's screaming for help before getting back in the van and driving away. Other drivers then get out of their vehicles to help. Amazon says in a statement the driver has been suspended. Police say they're still trying to identify the driver and figure out what happened. Rachel Sawicki, WBAL News Radio 1090 and FM 101.
That never makes any sense. We're still trying to identify the driver. They know who the damn driver is.
Well, the police,
maybe they're trying to find him.
Well, yeah. Well, I think what happens is like if something like that happens and the cops immediately reach out to Amazon, no one's going to say shit until until the bosses come in. You know what I mean? They don't want to throw him under the bus. Right. I'm not that I'm defending them, but I think that's what happens to those big corporations. Like, talk to our attorney.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine hitting somebody and dragging them and walking? I mean, he got out and walked over there. Clearly knew that he hit her.
Yeah.
And then he's like, screw it. I got better things to do.
Yeah. So, they said that they dragged her, but I don't think they dragged it. He actually he hit her with the front tires. He almost hit her with the rear one. He stopped just in time because you could see she was right. Although later on the video, you see him past it. So there was, at the beginning of the video, it looks like he stopped. Did he then just continue?
Yeah, I think he did.
So he stopped, rolled forward a little bit more, and then realized someone was, because they didn't show that part. All right, let's watch it again.
Let's watch it again.
Even though
I think they cut part of it out.
They must have. So watch at some point. She's right under the back wheel, and then the next thing we know, he's past her.
A woman is injured in a hit and run by an Amazon delivery van Tuesday night in Butchers Hill. The 29-year-old was run over around 9:30 in the intersection of Pratt and South Chester Streets and was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A harrowing video shows the van pull forward and strike the woman.
See what I mean? The first couple of clips, he had stopped right there, and then that third clip, he clearly had gone all the way over there. So
yeah.
Either way, why are you? Not
what are you thinking?
stopping?
I mean, you're going to jail. There's another car right there had already stopped to check on her. They're going to see you. Somebody's going to get your license plate. There's cameras everywhere nowadays. You're not like you're going to get away with it. Well, I don't know what will possess you to think that you're going to get away with it and why you would want to.
Yeah. And this isn't the first time that we've shown videos of not hitting a person, but hit and runs in the street or hitting the garage door. Remember that one van and then just
they nailed that garage door.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the DSP bosses make them so scared of reporting anything, but man, just report it. Everyone makes mistakes. You're going to lose your job on this one for sure. But hitting the garage door, you're probably not going to lose your job. It's shit happens. Maybe a write-up.
Yeah, and you're going to lose it anyway because somebody's going to find it. I mean, they're going to find you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they can tell what they know where their vans are at or where they've been.
Talk about data. They know when you pee. They know when you eat. They know everything.
They got it all, yeah. So it's not like you're going to sweep it under the rug and nobody's going to find out just because you don't report it.
Exactly.
I think you're much better off. They're going to be a little more lenient if you do report.
Absolutely. If you would render aid and call 911 and be oh my God, I would be devastated. I don't know what I would do.
Yeah. I mean, it's just we tell our kids, if you tell me the truth, you're going to be in less trouble than if you lie to me.
It's so true. It's so true.
Yeah. Some people just never learn that.
No, I guess not.
Yeah.
Larry, lawmakers take aim at a bill that's targeting surge pricing.
Yeah, so I think this is in Washington State. So we all know how it is. After there's a big concert or football game, something like that gets out. Everybody wants to go home at the same time. They're all trying to call the ride share. What happens? Surge pricing kicks in. The price to get home, triples or quadruples or everything. And these lawmakers are trying to restrict that because what they're saying is, it used to be the drivers would get a good portion of that. And that's not happening nowadays. The rideshare companies are taking all of that surge. And so it's not doing the reason they said they would do that is to try to get more drivers on the road. So, if the surge price comes out, more people are going to want to drive. But that's not happening because the drivers aren't getting that money. So this bill that they're proposing would restrict fares to 120% of what the driver's earning for a ride. So if a customer paid a surge price of $100, the company's share would be limited to $17 and the driver get $83.
Okay.
The goal says is to keep prices lower while assuring that the drivers and not just the companies are well compensated during times of high demand. This is going to apply to certain kinds of events, which would be they've got it here somewhere. I think if it's an outdoor event, it has to be 10,000 people, 10,000 or more attendees, or if it's an indoor event, if it has 1,000 or more attendees. So that's going to that would cover quite a few events in some of the bigger cities for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Uber shouldn't be doing that, and we kind of even see it here on a small scale when, let's say it's a $20 surge, they'll lower the base pay.
Yes, they will.
You know what I mean? So you might be getting out of that 20, you might be getting 5, extra dollars, but and that just seems super shady to me. So I don't even worry about the surge anymore. I look at what I'm offered, and if it's a good ride, in my opinion, I'm going to take it, whether it's $100 surge or a $1 surge. If it's good for me in that moment and it's got the mileage that I want and all that, I just take it off that.
Right. And just remember back in the day, man, it was like the adrenaline thrill of the surge rides, man. The multipliers. I mean, New Year's Eve, nights like that. I mean, it was like a hunt,
I loved it.
Those big surge rides. And it was really, really you would get addicted to that thrill for sure. And nowadays, I mean, football homecoming this year, I had really good surge rides and had a really, I think it was my best day ever, even better than New Year's Eve. But that's just because like this one particular spot would surge like $27.
Right.
And,
I do think that surge is you still have a little bit of the thrill on some big events, but it used to be like every weekend on Friday, Saturday night, like we'd all huddle at the Charlie's Crab, we'd shut our apps off and then throw that bitch on at closing time, and it'd be $50, $60, $70 rides for 4 miles.
Yeah. See, I missed out on that because it didn't surge here back then. Except like I said, New Year's Eve maybe and maybe homecoming, something like that. But any just regular weekends, we never saw it. And
oh man,
don't know why that changed. But that was after the heyday.
It was.
I used to
nice.
get jealous of you guys. Y'all turn everybody. Like I said, together and turn the apps off and wait for it to surge and everything. And we're just sitting around here, just taking rides. Yeah, taking it easy.
Yeah, it was fun that you bring up the adrenaline, and it was almost like the adult. I don't know, like as you get older, you don't have the risk taking. I mean, I know you've skydived and stuff like that, but as you get older, you got kids, and it's like you're not out being a crazy person. But that was like such a great dopamine and adrenaline. Like, oh my god, how much am I going to make on this ride?
It was, yeah. And Josh said, yeah, Gary Middleton tells him stories where they'd get like $300 rides going 20 miles back in the day. And yeah, that is for sure. I remember getting, I think one of my biggest multipliers was on homecoming one time. And I took some people, it's less than 10 miles, it was usually maybe a, $15, $18 ride. And I think they paid, it was over $200.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, this is so nice.
So was that 200 on your earned 200?
Yeah.
Can you imagine what they paid?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, why would you even pay that much? I mean, I know there's a lot of people that are a lot wealthier than us that's no big deal.
Well, and they were pretty drunk.
Still, man, I've been pretty drunk, and I can still see zeros on the receipt. Like, I mean,
some people don't.
I mean, geez, Louise.
Or they're trying to impress a girl. You never know. There's, everybody's got their reasons. Yeah. And it didn't, of course, it didn't last.
No.
A lot of times you get one ride during that, because by the time you picked them up and you found them and they got to the car and you got there and got them to their hotel and the surge would be. Maybe not completely over, but not what it was.
Well, that's why you think Jesper got that 95, going 95 and a 70.
Hell yeah, chase that surge.
He was racing back to downtown.
Yep.
I mean, that's what you did. You dropped those fuckers off, you're like,
turn your app off and head back downtown.
Yep, turn it off and get in there. So
yeah, those are some good times
for sure. Like I said earlier, we're talking about Dara talking about the tips and. I don't know exactly about Trump's initiative to eliminate tips.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things he mentioned, several times during the campaign, but it's not been brought up again.
No, of course not.
He's busy doing other things apparently.
Yeah, he also said we're going to dramatically cut taxes for families and for workers and for companies, including no tax on tips and hopefully no tax on Social Security and no tax on overtime. Now, the overtime thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Because when you start working a lot of overtime, like when I was doing lawn care, if you got close to 60 hours, that should be your limit. Because if you go over 60, you like jump in another tax bracket, and it just takes like 40% of your money.
Oh yeah, and like my brother's a firefighter. They work 24 hours on, 48 off, so they get overtime every week, and that'd be a huge.
There was a study said that an estimated that as few as 3% of taxpayers nationally would benefit from tipped earning exemption, while many others who collect tips make too little to owe any federal taxes. Oh, interesting. I never thought about that.
Right. Yeah. A lot of people who are doing, waitressing or waiter jobs, service jobs, a lot of times those don't pay the best. And so, they're not paying much tax.
And we talked about earlier in that data, only 9% of drivers tip anyway. So it really wouldn't. I mean, it's kind of a fluff story, feel good, like, oh, we support it, blah blah blah. Yeah. But honestly, it's not really going to do much because you're not getting a ton of tips anyways.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it's going to swing swing the pendulum very far.
I mean, it looks good on a news article, and
yeah, it's a nice soundbite.
And Dara looks good saying we support this and blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, just pay us more.
Exactly.
Larry, this picture, holy shit.
Yeah, this is
I can't
amazing.
believe this is real.
This is a Dashlink package pickup. So this is Doordash, but it's not food. It's
nope.
Doordash package delivery. So it says it's 45 items that you're going to be delivering. I guess that's it doesn't tell you if it's 45 stops. I can't see that.
It's 45 orders, so I would assume it's 45. Yeah, 45 stops, customer drop off.
I would think so, yeah. And estimated it's going to take you 6 hours and 27 minutes, so 6.5 hours and total of 30.5 miles. And there's no tip on it though, so we wouldn't take it because there's no tip. But paying $1,350 for 6.5 hours, so that's $207 an hour.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I know those do pay pretty good, but I mean, you'd be done. Like a lot of people, they make that in a week as a full timer,
Yeah, a lot of people don't make that in a week.
Right. He thinks it's a glitch or a Photoshop. I mean, I've seen some pretty hefty DoorDash ones for only like 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah, from this Dashlink thing.
Mm-hmm. So I've never seen anything.
I don't know. It might be Photoshop, but they did a really good job with it because it looks exactly like, like it should. But, I mean,
yeah, I was trying to look and see if I saw anything that looked out of place, but yeah, it looks pretty good.
Right. Moving on here. Let's see. I forget. Guy drops delivery. Oh, excuse me. Oh my God.
All right, old man.
Yeah, holy cow. Let's see. I can't remember. Oh yeah, it is this one. So
first of all, dude, what are you doing parking like that?
Of course.
Just pull in behind that car.
Right.
Get out of the road.
Yeah. Hey, Larry.
Yes.
I am not feeling good.
Oh, sorry, man.
I think I got to end it. And I'm sure you don't want to do the rest of it by yourself, but
hey, no worries, man.
I got to go. Like, I feel like I'm going to throw up. So
okay, bud.
Sorry, y'all. I will talk to you later.
Hope you feel better, man.
All right, bye. This podcast is produced and edited by Hey Guys Media Group. Want to start a podcast? Check out heyguysmediagroup.com.